Van Gundy, D-line with you here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. And the Nets trying to win on the road, get a little rest before the next round. And the Bucks trying to force the 7th game, but Kenyon Martin off to a brilliant start from the field.
Strained an abdominal muscle. Kid threw the lob pass, almost had it, and then you see him start to grab his side or his abdomen. And again, you don't want to speculate on injuries, Dick, but certainly it's something that has to concern the Nets as Martin sits there on the bench grabbing him. Tim Walsh, the trainer, an excellent trainer. We had him with the Knicks. He's going to make the right decision for Martin and the Nets.
Aaron Williams checking into the lineup, and Rodney Rogers as well. Minutes remaining in the first quarter. The Nets have dominated, and the feed to Jefferson, and he tries to save it and does with 5 on the shot clock. And here is Rogers with Kukoc in his face, and the rebound taken down by Sam Cassell.
That was the first defensive possession by Milwaukee where I thought they played with the intensity necessary to win an elimination game.
Payton feeding Michael Redd. As you mentioned, Michael Redd disappointed in his own performance, and he was the runner-up in the 6-man award to Bobby Jackson of the Sacramento Kings. He had a good year, but a shaky playoff thus far. Cassell is guarding Rogers out at the top, and here is Jefferson to Kidd. Kidd is wide open and hitting the 3. No one near. Jason Kidd, and he hits the 3. Go to the bench with his 3rd foul. Urban Johnson, who started the game at center for the Bucks, is in there now. And Johnson with only 1 personal foul, and that's always the barometer you watch with him, as Tim Thomas hitting the first free throw. Thomas with 25 in game 1, 22 in the 3rd game, and then 20 in game 4. Has had a very consistent series.
And he's a different type of power forward. He's a 3-point shooter. He's driving. He can't really hold his ground against the power players, and that's why they have Urban Johnson guarding Kenyon Martin.
Kerry Kittle strong to the basket and got through, but could not convert on the layup. And Cassell with a fake on 3-point territory, feeding Desmond Mason. Good block by Collins. Jason Collins with the block. And here is Kittles open for 3. Loose ball foul, and they'll go the other way, and shoving going on between Urban Johnson and Jason Collins, and guess what? We have more technical fouls in this game.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Technical fouls in this series?
There were 8 in the last game alone. There have been 13 by the Milwaukee Bucks, and Urban Johnson called for the technical foul. Look at that list of technical fouls and personal fouls coming into this game 6.
There's 3 points you're giving away. I don't understand it. I really don't. And here's the replay. Collins slapped the ball out of Urban Johnson's hands. Urban Johnson just discarded him. Technical foul. I think that's a legitimate call by Derek Stafford.
I agree, and the personal was on Rodney Rogers, his 2nd, and so Gary Payton going to the line here. Payton has scored now 9 points in the game, and off to a decent shooting night at 4 for 7 from the line. Payton and Carl have been there together as coach and player at the Seattle Supersonics. They know how it is to get deep into the NBA playoffs as we wind down to 4 minutes to go. Payton with the 1 free throw. 10-point lead for the Nets. Jefferson smoothly hits from the perimeter. Not only did he have his best game with 17, but 16 rebounds, a career high in game 5.
And that's where he's really improved from the first year to his 2nd year, is the consistency with which he shoots that perimeter jump shot.
Kidd defending Payton. 10 on the shot clock for Milwaukee. Desmond Mason front end, and there's the lead pass to Jefferson, and Jefferson beating Payton down court. So you live and die by the outside shot, and how fast did Jefferson fly?
Well, Desmond Mason shot the shot, Jefferson contested it, and then Desmond Mason wasted his time complaining to the official as Jefferson outran him down the floor. Those lack of discipline about running back and complaining to officials is killing them.
Cassell called for the offensive foul. Richard Jefferson, by the way, has 10 points on 5 for 6 shooting. And the Nets enjoying what has been a comfortable game thus far, leading by 14, matching their biggest lead of the game.
You know, the Nets just don't get into it with the officials as much. They just have a demeanor. I think they live like off of kids' demeanor, that they're more poised.
Desmond Mason with a swooping layup, defended against Jefferson. Again, the 12-point lead, and we're going to go the other way.
That was an offensive foul on Richard Jefferson. He was running down the
Pushed
court.
Mason.
Right, he pushed Mason and discarded him. Here, Mason, great cut, great pass, and then they get into it. And just as I said, that the poise of the Nets reflected their leader, Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson takes an unnecessary foul.
The only thing I saw was Desmond Mason getting up out of bounds as if he just reported into the game. And now Jefferson up where it left off throughout the series. Irvin Johnson called for a second foul and a timeout. Chaos here in Milwaukee as the Nets lead by 12. Now 15 points by the Nets as Rodney Rogers now with a 3 and 5 points. And a foul inside as we check in with D. Lyman.
Well, Dick, you might find this a little surprising. This morning, George Karl was expressing a great deal of displeasure, not about his team, but the fact that he was watching that Dallas-Portland game last night. The Mavs were up 6 with about a little less than 3 minutes to play, and the power went out in his house because of a storm. It came back about a half hour later. He learned about Portland's comeback, but what bothered him most wasn't that he wasn't able to see it, but he couldn't hear these amazing announcers call that finish.
Yeah, I'm sure George was waiting with bated breath to hear me say something so revolutionary.
That's the first time a coach ever gave credit to another team.
Yeah.
Normally they
or another
it.
coach.
They put mute on, don't they?
Yeah.
Here is Harris missing the 3 and the rebound by Jefferson to keep it alive with 2 minutes remaining. And a 20-second timeout called by the Nets. Well, ever since Kenyon Martin sat down with the 3 personal fouls, the Nets have had a 3-point advantage over the Milwaukee Bucks. And right now, they're up by 13. Coming up on the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report, Ernie Johnson along with Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley with a preview of tonight's Game 6 between the Timberwolves and the Lakers. Lakers with a chance to wrap it up. And a live look at the Pistons Magic as the Bucks will try to endeavor to get it under double digits in intermission. Here's the feed inside to Irvin Johnson from Kukoc, and the lead is down to 11.
Great defense by Cassell, contesting a shot, led to a great offensive play by Kukoc, driving and dishing. Again, at 6'11", you don't find many players that can pass off the dribble.
Here's Jason Kidd, deflected pass, and taken down, and here is Desmond Mason from Kukoc again, and the lead is 51 to 42. And the Bucks don't want to go into a grinded-out half-court offense because it really slows them down. They just have to pick their spots.
Yeah, they don't want to be in a running game, but that doesn't mean they don't want to run at all.
And here is Harris driving in, and the foul is called. And Sam Cassell with the personal foul.
Here, Irvin Johnson gave great support defense and then finished it off with a great hustle play, diving out of bounds to keep the ball alive. And then Kukoc, a great advance pass to Desmond Mason, who runs the floor extremely well.
And Jeff, the personal foul is on Irvin Johnson, not Cassell, and that is 3 on Irvin Johnson, who continues to be mired in foul trouble. He had 5. He has had his problems, and just staying on the floor. Harris missing the free throw with just under a minute remaining. And Cassell and Irvin Johnson sitting down. Tony Kukoc has become the playmaker for this Milwaukee team with 5 assists here in this first half. Rodney Rogers going to the bench as well. So Harris with Jefferson, Anthony Johnson, Kidd, and Jason Collins. The Nets by 10. Kukoc. Now here is Payton in the lane. Pretty move. Patented move by
against one of the premier defenders in basketball in Jason Kidd. But when Payton goes to the hole, good things happen for the Bucks.
16 on the shot clock. Nearly a half a minute remaining in the first half. Bucks making a run at the latter stages and charging inside. And missing the shot was Lucius Harris. Good defense with a bunch of white shirts. Thomas leaving it on the no basket and the offensive foul. And Desmond Mason better watch himself. He may be hit with a technical as he argues with Derek Stafford.
Thomas is bringing the ball up in penetration. That could have been a non-call, Dick. I think the pass was already delivered. It was a charging call. Kidd showed good courage stepping in there. I thought that is a play on.
8-point lead, and playing for the final shot are the New Jersey Nets, leading 3 games to 2 in this first round, trying to win on the road and wrap it up. Here's Kidd. He hits a 3 with 3.6 remaining, and now it's a 2-point shot. He was on the line. Kidd with the interception. He's going to have another chance. So 4 points by Jason Kidd in the last 4 seconds of the first half as the Nets run off. They have an edge in 7 off the boards, 5 off the offensive glass, and you wonder what the Milwaukee Bucks are going to have to do to stop what has been a solid express so far in this game, Jeff.
Well, I really think New Jersey's played outstanding basketball. Their best 3 players have all come to play today. Jefferson 10, Kidd 10, Martin 15, got him off to a great start and playing very well defensively. At the other end, I expect to see Sam Cassell, who's only got 3 shot attempts, 1 for 3, to try to be an emotional leader, be more offensive-minded, and get him back into the game.
And right now, here's a look at our Jeep game summary. And as we mentioned, the great shooting effort by the Milwaukee Bucks, the rebounding edge as well. The Bucks have yet to make a 3-point basket. And look at that huge edge in the front court. And it started out that way with Kenyon Martin and Richard Jefferson getting off tonight and have an 18-point lead there.
And what those stats don't show, Dick, is that Milwaukee, who usually does a great job of handling the ball, has 10 turnovers already. The turnovers lead to transition opportunities. So Milwaukee's got to do a much better job of handling the ball, getting shot opportunities, and then balancing the floor so that the Nets don't get any fast break points or any secondary offensive transition points. Make them run half-court offense.
And there's Anthony Mason, whose job is to keep Kenyon Martin under wraps. Martin with 15 points, had that stomach muscle injury, 3 personal fouls. The Nets jumped ahead 17-6 halfway through the first quarter. It's pretty much an even game since then.
And Mason starting this half so that he can be on Martin and try to slow Martin down early in the half rather than let him get off and then come in and try to defend it.
But Tim Thomas is matched up with Martin on that first possession. And the biggest lead of the game, 16 points. Martin with 17 in the game.
What happened on that play? They trapped the pick and roll. Thomas rotated to him and then again got beat off the dribble far too easily.
So Mason replacing Irvin Johnson of the 5 who started the game. Gary Payton gets in for the layup. The basket counts in a foul. And you talked about Cassell getting going. Now Payton now 6 for 9 from the field, and he's got to continue to be a force.
He's a great low post point guard. He usually goes to his right shoulder. There he did, going into the middle and then finishing at the basket. It may be boring at times, Dick, but low post basketball in the playoffs is very effective. It's either going to be single coverage, which you can get your own shot off like Payton can, or it's going to be double team to be able to swing the ball to the perimeter and get open perimeter jump shots.
Kidd fouled him, his second of the game. And right now, Gary Payton has 16 points. And a Milwaukee foul. Tim Thomas, that's his 3rd personal foul, and Kidd will go to the line. That's the second free throw miss. So Kidd, his first actually, 1 for 2 from the line for Jason Kidd. 11-point lead for New Jersey. The New Jersey Nets 3-1 in games where they could have eliminated teams in the playoffs. So they usually put the hammer down.
Point guards together on a consistent basis, and Parker's a young point guard, and you see Kidd take a charge and foul. I think it'd be very difficult to play them both over extended periods of time, but that's for the summer, and I just think Kidd has meant so much to New Jersey and so much to the Eastern Conference. To watch a point guard like him every night is a lot of fun.
And a blocking foul called against Payton. That'll be his second foul. Bucks are in the penalty, and Kidd going to the line. Jason Kidd tonight has scored 14 points, 9 assists, 6 coming here in the third quarter, and they have been highlight film variety.
And Dick, I'll tell you, George Karl is an excellent defensive coach. In Seattle, they played great defense. And until his players take on his demeanor about the importance of defense and rebounding, they're going to always be an inconsistent team, because if you're going to base your game on jump shots, as many of his players do, it's going to be difficult to find consistency. George Karl, he can't do any more. It's got to come from the players now, that they value defense.
Well, that has been the same MO that he had in Seattle, where they didn't have that imposing power underneath. And the Nets seem to have that and a lot more, thanks to Kidd, who makes everyone look good on the court. Timeout. Nets 80.
Aaron Williams sets a cross screen. The cutter goes low. Hayslip protects low, so Williams is open on the duck in. Great step through move and a dunk.
Hayslip missing the first free throw. 68% free throw shooter during the regular season. Kidd will come back, as well as Kerry Kittles. And Jefferson will check out. So it's going to be a smallish team out there for the Nets, with Kidd, Kittles, Harris, along with Rogers and Aaron Williams. 1 out of 2 for Hayslip. And it's a 17-point net lead.
Dick, we talked earlier about Jason Kidd's free agency, but what about Gary Payton? Coming off this type of loss in this series, what is Gary Payton going to do? It's going to be a very interesting summer for him and the Bucks, because if they lose him, where do they go from there?
They traded Allen for a three-point basket again and a foul. So a chance for the 4-point play as Rodney Rogers fouls Tim Thomas.
Great pass by Cassell, right on target to Tim Thomas, who hit an earlier three-pointer in transition. That's his second one, and the foul. NBA games are extremely long. Here, Thomas can cut it to 13 with 7 minutes to go. Unlikely, but not impossible.
And it is a 13-point lead, 97-84, 7:27 to go. And Byron Scott might have seen this coming, which is why Kittles and Kidd came back moments ago, did not like what he was seeing. And now the crowd, and this could be maybe the last opportunity for the Milwaukee Bucks. And feet inside of the jump ball, they tied him up. A tie up inside. Good hustle by the Nets as the Milwaukee Bucks on their best run of the night, a 10-2 spurt. Kittles will be jumping against Desmond Mason. And won by the Bucks. They won that loose ball. Driving in, a basket pounced by Michael Redd in the foul, and a chance now to cut it to 10. So there's energy yet in this old Milwaukee. A big basket by Lucius Harris to quiet the crowd.
In a broken situation, Harris retrieved the loose ball and knocked it in. And New Jersey is prone to droughts in the half court. If they can't get out in transition, you can play them because they don't have a lot of guys who have to double team the post.
Tim Thomas going up, the ball stripped away. Last touch by the Nets with 8 seconds on the clock. Michael Redd will come into the game replacing Desmond Mason, so it'll be Michael Redd, Tim Thomas, Gary Payton, Tony Kukoc, and Sam Cassell. The Nets with Aaron Williams. Kenyon Martin, who's playing with 5 fouls. Jason Kidd. And Terry Kittles. Payton, good feed and getting the lay-in. And again, a 9-point deficit. 22 for Gary Payton.
Earlier in the game, Michael Redd has missed people off the dribble. That time, nice curl move, drove the second defender and dished it to Payton.
Aaron Williams backing in the double and then the passing. Here's Kidd finding Harris with again 5 on the shot clock, and Harris misses this time. Kenyon Martin snares the offensive rebound. Still a loose ball, and it comes out to the Nets with a new clock. In the corner is Harris. Payton comes over to greet him with under 5 minutes to go. The net lead at 1 point. 22 points down to 9. Here is Aaron Williams. Martin with another offensive rebound. Kittles for 3. And this could be the turning point when you look back at this game. So many offensive rebounds, mostly by Kenyon Martin. Kittles hitting the 3.
That was just like in Game 5, giving up critical threes to Kittles. But when you play small like Milwaukee is right now, because you want to play an offensive team, you are vulnerable on the backboard, and they have just been pounded. Not only this game, but the entire series on the backboard.
And the Lakers and the Timberwolves coming up next on TNT Game 6. And this game may not be over, although that 3 by Kittles after the long sequence may have hurt the Bucks.
But I love how Milwaukee's playing with emotion and passion in this quarter. I'm just surprised it took this long to arouse them to a state that they needed to be in from the start of the game.
Thomas with 5 on the shot clock, leading in against Kenyon Martin.
Great individual defense by Martin, playing with 5 fouls to move his feet and make Thomas take a difficult shot.
Jefferson and Martin each with 5 fouls. Tim Thomas with 5 for the Bucks. Here's Kenyon Martin's turnaround, and Martin now with 29 points. The Nets getting the job done, and again that huge rebounding edge. 19 off the boards, 13-point edge on the offensive glass. And here come the Nets with a 2-on-2, and Kidd setting it up with 3:45 to go. A 14-point lead. Moments ago, the Bucks had cut it to 9. Good ball movement. And Kittles missing the 3 at the shot clock buzzer. Here is Red, nearly lost his footing. Feed to Desmond Mason for the basket. And it's 104-92. Still in this thing, down by 12 as we get close to the 3-minute mark.
They're going to fall back into a 2-3 zone. Whatever defense they play right now, they've got to play it to try to force some turnovers so they can get out in the open floor.
5 on the shot clock, and Kenyon Martin. And Kittle's trying to keep it alive, and coming out of it is Desmond Mason, and here come the Bucks, and they're going to need an offensive spurt in a hurry, but stolen. And Lucius Harris with a steal from behind, and then a foul. It is the 4th team foul as Desmond Mason commits the foul on Harris.
That was great effort by Harris to chase down the man in the middle on the break, tip it and steal it from behind. You teach players all the time, never give up in the play, keep pursuing.
And Jason Kidd, how terrific has he been? A triple-double tonight, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists with under 2.5 to play. The Nets that close to moving on in the playoffs. Kittle's drive, and this time taken down by Tim Thomas. Payton leads it for Desmond Mason. To 2 minutes. It is a 10-point lead, 104-94. And can the Milwaukee Bucks make the big climb upward with 2 minutes to go and stay alive and force the 7th game in this first-round series? And the Nets taking their time with the clock.
They want to use clock, but they don't want to become unaggressive.
Harris for 3, and that may do it. finishes Harris, giving the Nets a 13-point lead, 107-94. And you can just feel the air out of the Bradley Center, and many of the fans start to make their way to the exits. Kukoc trying to answer with a three, and he does. Tony Kukoc, again, cutting it to 10. But only a minute and a half remaining in regulation. They trap Harris, and a timeout called by the New Jersey Nets. And now it's desperation time for Milwaukee. 8 on the shot clock. Kidd going up and drawing the foul with 1:14 remaining in regulation.
Great discipline shown by New Jersey there. They trapped Kidd coming out of the timeout. They moved the ball, and they got it back to Kidd. Kidd penetrated at the right time, drew the foul. Again, very good coaching job by Byron Scott to get his team organized against the trapping Milwaukee defense.
Tim Thomas fouls out with 13 points, 9 here in the quarter. Tim Thomas scoring 20 or more in 3 of the games of the series. And Jason Kidd on the line. And tonight, Jason Kidd with the triple-double had it in him. He's our Gatorade peak performer of the game. Well, in game 1, the Nets blew out the Milwaukee Bucks, leading by as much as 31. And Milwaukee clawed back in game 2. The Nets had a 19-point lead and had to struggle to finally win that one. Rodney Rogers hitting the big jumper. Milwaukee wins in overtime, and I think the Bucks may look back at game number 5 as a game when you hold the Nets to 34% shooting. They could have stolen one on the road.
I agree, Dick, and I think the Nets are going to feel very good about winning 2 out of 3 road games in this series. During the regular season, they were a mediocre road team, 16-25. This shows if they play defense and with passion and energy, they can win on the road as well as home.
Under a minute remaining as Gary Payton misses the shot, and the Bucks forced to foul at this point, and it's on Gary Payton with just under 54 seconds remaining. The Nets 109 points, matches their game 1 output. Most points they scored was the losing game 4, 114 in overtime. So the New Jersey Nets, like the Boston Celtics, advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Celtics scoring an upset over the Indiana Pacers, who were the 3rd seed. And both teams winning in 6 games. Payton, and he misses another layup. Having his problems from inside, Michael Redd finally puts it in. And Michael Redd with 20 points in the game. Gary Payton with 22 is the team scoring leader, and another foul. At midcourt. Old rivals, good friends. The game is over, and the New Jersey Nets will advance as George Karl and Byron Scott shake hands. Kenyon Martin, the big game tonight, with 29 points and 9 rebounds. Jason Kidd had the triple-double with 22 points, 11 boards, 11 assists. Gary Payton led the Bucks with 24. And so it'll be the Boston Celtics against the Nets in the next round, Monday and Wednesday on TNT, the first 2 games in New Jersey. And of course, the drama will continue between the Pistons and Magic and the Sixers and Hornets.